One moment that I remember was when I was a junior in college. I had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to head back to school because it was a 10-hour drive. And I was carpooling with this very attractive young lady from Van Buren. And so we get to Newport and we pull off to go have breakfast at McDonald's in Newport. And so we eat our breakfast. And after breakfast, I said, well, before we get back on the road, I need to go to the bathroom. So clearly I was a little overtired because I get into the bathroom and I'm taking care of business. And I look near the bathroom stall and I'm wondering, what is that strange little box near the bathroom? And then another person comes into the bathroom. And it all starts to fall into place because the person going to the bathroom next door to me was definitely not a male. And I, unfortunately, had gone into a women's bathroom. So I quickly tried to jump around so that my feet would be pointing in the correct direction. And then I hid in the stall until the lady left and was praying that nobody else would be coming in as I tried to make a quick escape out the door. Unfortunately, there was a family of 5 people enjoying a nice breakfast right outside the women's bathroom as I exited and ran to my car in shame.
Well, I was with a friend working out in a gym, and we were just kind of hanging out by the water fountain there, and this girl comes up to me and says, "Hey, how you doing?" And I look at her like, "Oh my gosh," you know. This is a girl that I had dated a couple of years back, and she's like, "How's it going?" and this and that, and you know, because I had gone away to college, and so had she, and so here we were meeting, you know, during summer break, and anyway. So small talk, yada, 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 and so my buddy's just standing there, you know, so I go to introduce them, and I say his name, and then I go to her, and for some strange reason, my brain just shut down, and it was the worst moment that I had experienced in a long time, just being frozen there, and she's looking at me like, are you trying to just be funny or something, you know? I literally forgot her first name. And you don't do that to a girl. You just don't do that to a girl. Because, she was pissed, to say the least. Anyway, I won't repeat what she said, but but she wasn't too hard on me, but she just thought I was being a jerk, and I really wasn't. I felt so bad, and as she's walking away, I remembered her last name, and I just yelled out her last name like a total idiot, and she just she puts her hand up like, whatever, I don't even want to see her face again. Oh. And that was the last time I've ever seen this girl. Yeah. She was cute too.
Elementary school. We had an assembly, so everyone had to go in the gym, and sat down and sat right in a puddle that I didn't notice because it was winter time. So there was water puddles everywhere from people's shoes. And so I sat right in a puddle, so got up right away. Well, everyone else had already sat down, so everyone thought I had peed my pants.
Whenever I had to read in church, and it was this past fall, and it was right around Halloween, so that was like a feast day of obligation or something, plus a regular Sunday. So there were some different reading choices. So I had done my practice in the afternoon at home, and I had my book, and I practiced the one I was supposed to read. And when I got there, I looked at the book in the back of the church, and sure enough, it was open to that one. But when the book was placed in front, and I went up to do the reading, there were several different options on the page, and I'm like, oh my God, and I was so nervous I couldn't figure out or remember which one I was supposed to read. So I was just kind of flipping through the pages, and I just said out loud, "I'm sorry, I don't know which one to read." And Father Willett came over, and showed me, you know, this passage. Oh no, actually he was going through it and he's like, well, you might as well just read this one. But while he was doing that, I'm like, he doesn't know which one to read. So I felt like dying, but I did the reading, and then I just, you know, walked off after and just felt like all eyes were on me and I was all red and everything, but whatever it is, what it is, and I lived.
Was in to see a teacher for after-school help on a subject, and their child came in kicking and screaming and having one of the worst tantrums that I've ever seen, and I just stood there wondering, what the heck should I do? Should I leave? Should I run right out of the room? Should I stand there and laugh? Didn't know what to do.
My most embarrassing moment or most awkward moment came very recently. It was actually at a high school basketball game against, I believe the girls were playing Skank. And what happened was my sister purchased some 50-50 tickets on the way in, and she didn't have her glasses with her, so she couldn't read the number on the tickets. So she handed when it was time to draw. So when it came time to draw the raffle winner, she handed me the tickets to read for her. Well, it just so happens she was the winner. She had the winning ticket. So when I leaned over to her and said, Joanne, you won. So when Mr. Warnken was looking for the person to take the half-court shot, she started pointing at me right away. And I wouldn't have minded taking the half-court shot, but I was just totally unprepared because I wasn't in that frame of mind. It was more about having her own up to the ticket. So I really started freaking out, and then everybody in the entire stand started looking at me. Mr. Warnken announced my name, and then everybody was turned around looking at me, pointing, cheering me on and jeering, and from that point there was no going back. And I couldn't explain to the entire gym that it was her ticket and she was sitting there going along with it. So it was more about that when the entire gym is looking at you and you are out in the center of the court all by yourself making that, or not making that half-court shot, because I failed miserably. Had I had the chance to go back and do it with a different frame of mind, I think I would have done a lot better. Needless to say, then I devised a plan that I was going to come in and practice my half-court shot for a half-hour a day and buy like 3 bodies length of tickets at every basketball game so that I could redeem myself, because I was...
Okay, so I don't remember how old I was, but probably like middle school. I was in Caribou with my mom, and we had stopped at Let's to use the bathroom and get like drinks and snacks. So my mom waited in the car while I went inside, and so I paid for my stuff, came outside, opened the passenger door in the front seat, and got in and was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And then looked over and realized I was in the wrong car. My mom had moved the car, and it was a vehicle just like hers, and I just assumed it was, so I got in the wrong vehicle.
A few years ago, I was teaching at Master Basic in Southern Maine, and I had these couple of boys that like to interrupt a lot during lessons. And so I was teaching a lesson in front of class, and everything I thought was going great, and these boys were trying to get my attention, and again, just thought they were being goofballs, and I was trying to ignore them. And so then one of them raised their hands, and Mrs. Beal and I said, is this on topic? Because I looked again to get off topic, and they said, no, but you're going to want to, and I said, nope, I don't even want to hear it. So I ignored them for the rest of the time we were talking. After my lesson was done, I was, going around and I was helping some students, and so one of the boys got up and came over to me and said, Miss, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, something wrong? Like, what is going on? Like, you've been like this all period. Like, what's going on? And he goes, we've been trying to get your attention. I said, I know. And he goes, your zipper's down. And my zipper was down all the way. So, unfortunately, everyone got to see my underwear that day.
Oh.
And so, being very embarrassed. And they said, we were trying to be nice and tell you, but you wouldn't let us talk. So, I felt like the biggest jackass there was. Because these poor boys were trying to be nice, and I wasn't giving them the benefit of the doubt. I was thinking the worst of them. So, embarrassing moment in front of my students, because for the talk for the rest of the time was what color underwear I was wearing and how I was a jerk because
Okay, so my most awkward moment was, I was really sick one time in high school, and I went to the office to call home to go home. Instead of calling home, I ended up passing out. And I woke up to a bunch of people standing all around me, asking if I was okay. That was pretty awkward, because the principal and the secretary and the nurse and a bunch of kids were just standing there watching me on the floor as I was passed out. That was pretty awkward.